right now?
Well, now Jay has cranky.
Okay, that was his nod.
Oh, hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the
Not on.
June 11th Public Works and Finance meeting. The new time change is 4 o'clock. Shh. No, that's okay. It's just my microphone. Did you? Hi. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 4 o'clock Public Works and Finance Committee meeting. It's June 11th. We're going to get started. We just need to move one item that was posted to start at 4:30, which is the public meeting for 109 North Almond Street Lot Division with Michael Ray presenting, and we're going to move that to be the last item to make sure that it starts at 4:30 on that. And so with that, we'll go ahead and then move on to the approval of our Public Works minutes from May 29th.
They looked good to me.
Yep, me too.
Okay, so they have been approved. And ready to go is our disbursement report for May 2018 with Sarah Banks.
Yep, good afternoon. So expenditures for month ending May 31st, 2018 totaled $2,962,350. Our largest expenditure was again payroll, which came in at $1,020,159. We had a couple other major expenditures that I wanted to point out. We had our booster station phase 1 construction payment that was $103,119. We had our IS department purchased some of our Dell computers. There's desktop and laptop included in that for $155,934. We had a purchase for SCBA and related equipment, which is regarding fire breathing apparatuses.
Yeah.
That totaled $201,517, and we also purchased our second fire truck, and that amount came to $545,472.
Okey dokey. All right. If there's no other questions, then we can go ahead and sign.
I didn't have any.
All right.
Thank you.
You can just have Lori hold on to that.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Okay, item 4, which is actually the next item, which is the 708 and 714 South Jefferson Line adjustment request. Welcome back, Bill.
Okay. Good afternoon again.
Hi, Bill.
So this is a requested lot line adjustment between 708 and 714 South Jefferson. That is proposing a lot line adjustment between the two lots on the common lot. Subject property is located within the multiple family residential R4 zoning district. Within the R4 zoning district, the minimum lot size is 5,000 square feet, and the minimum lot width is 50 feet for a single family dwelling. The proposed adjusted lots, currently one lot is 40 feet in width and the other is 75 feet in width. So one is what we consider to be a legal non-conforming lot because it's less than 50 feet in width, and the other lot is 75 feet in width. The proposed adjusted lots would range in size from 6,875 square feet on one lot, the northern parcel, to 7,500 square feet on the southern parcel at 714 South Jefferson. And the lot widths would range from 55 feet to 60 feet, 55 feet in width for 708 and 60 feet in width for 714. So these are the two parcels. Here highlighted in yellow is 708 and 714 is here the property to the south. The proposal is to move that common lot line 5 feet south to make 708 South Jefferson to then be 55 feet in width, and that would reduce the current width of 714 from 75 feet to 60 feet. The applicant has shown on their site plan that the new proposed lot line would still remain 7.5 feet from the existing house on 714, so it would continue to comply with a minimum 5-foot setback on that size. All lots resulting from the proposed lot line adjustment would meet all applicable lot requirements in the zoning code, and staff recommends the committee recommend approval of the proposed lot line adjustment. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Do we have any questions?
Very clear.
I thought it looked good.
Right. I think we'll go on consent agenda.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next item is the 1912 Center Roofing System Replacement Change Order Number 1. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, David.
Thank you. So this is the 1912 Center, change order number 1. If you recall, on April 2nd, council accepted the low bid from Darden Enterprises for the base bid plus alternate 1. Alternate 1 was the 7 lower roofs. So we're requesting approval of change order number 1 for the skylights to be funded with a $53,000 donation from Heart of the Arts. This is to replace the 5 existing skylights with 5 new cow wall skylights. During our pre-construction meeting on May 21st, Jenny Kostroff with Heart of the Arts really wanted to get those skylights switched out. So she found a donor the next day. So,
Wow.
and submitted a proposal letter that's in your packet as well.
Great.
This was alternate number 2 in the original bid. So, as you can see, the skylights are quite dated. They're existing wire glass skylights. They're deteriorating to the point where they are leaking because they're kind of countersunk into there a little bit, and so the water kind of pools up and is leaking. So, if this change order is approved, the contract amount will move from $189,000 up to $242,000. We're also going to extend the contract time an extra 15 days, so rather than August 6th, substantial completion would be August 21st. It is our recommendation to accept the $53,000 from Heart of the Arts and accept alternate 2. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions from the committee.
I don't have any questions. I always thought it was just great.
I'm normally not a big fan of scope creep or extending the
Sure.
time to get it done or increasing the budget, but this one, with the way Jenny can pull funders out of her pocket, I am impressed with that, so I would support this hands down.
Any questions?
Nope, looks great.
We can do a dance, but we'll do it on the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next item. Itani Park Playground Equipment Selection.
Make this go for 20 minutes.
Really enjoy it, David.
Yeah, go slowly.
We love parks. Dwight can even come and talk about parks.
Yeah, let's.
Well, good afternoon once again. So, this is the Itani Park Playground Equipment Selection. The Parks and Recreation Department is requesting authorization to purchase playground equipment and safety tiles from Buell Recreation at a cost of $67,000. The funding will come from the Hamilton Fund. This playground will include one playground for 2 to 12-year-olds, swing sets for 2 to 5-year-olds, 5 to 12-year-olds, and then they'll also have inclusive swings for each of an inclusive swing, for each of the age groups as well. So 2 inclusive swings, 1 for 2 to 5, 1 for 5 to 12. We issued a request for proposals on May 3rd to 20 playground suppliers. We received 9 responsive proposals, which was pretty good. In our RFP, we did indicate that each supplier could submit 2 separate proposals, and we did get a couple that put in 2, which was nice to see. Our public voting began on May 14th and closed on May 21st. We did get 333 total votes, which I thought was pretty good. 128 of those were online, and then 205 paper votes. People could vote with a paper ballot at the HERC and at the Egan Youth Center. Excuse me. So the results of the voting, we had a real clear winner as far as the public voting, with 65 more votes than the second ranked result. So that's Buell Recreation selling Burke Playground equipment with 146 votes of those 333 votes. This was selected by the public through our public input. You'll notice the inclusive swings in the 3-bay swing set in the center, 2 to 5-year-old swing sets, and 5 to 12-year-old, and then the composite structure and tile safety surfacing under all of it. Just another 3D graphic of the playground and swing set. This is just the overhead showing the use zones. We want to make sure we follow all the national standards so kids stay safe out there. The Parks and Recreation Commission considered public input and recommended Buell Recreation at their May 23rd meeting. We're recommending that as well to purchase the equipment from Buell Recreation in the amount of $67,000. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions from the committee.
I don't have any questions. I know that we had a lot of kids vote on this one, though.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Over there.
Yeah, so that's a really good thing to hear.
This might be really a dumb question. An inclusive swing is inclusive of all abilities?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I assumed.
Sure.
Awesome. And the other inclusive swing that we had talked about earlier in the year is going to be in East City Park?
Yes, you're referring to the ice swing.
Yes.
That's a full wheelchair accessible swing. The U.S. manufacturers for inclusive swings are a little bit different, and so these are U.S. manufacturer inclusive swings. So.
I like to see these in our parks.
Sure.
So
I was just wondering, with the tiles, how often are you all replacing tiles? You know, because, you know, with bark and stuff, you're always having to do stuff, but with the tiles, how often are you seeing that you have to replace tiles?
In my time here in 2.5 years, we haven't had to replace any of the tiles.
Wow.
So longevities on them are really good. It saves a lot of maintenance costs. We don't have to use, or the
Yeah.
surfacing is only as good as being raked in with the engineered wood fiber, keeping that depth.
Fluff.
And so the tiles are a little more maintenance friendly. Yeah. So.
All right, great. Go ahead.
Is the installation happening with our in-house certified playground person?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, we've got 2 now.
Good.
So, yeah, I think the city's saving some money with the in-house installation. So, yeah.
Very good. Well, that, this should go to consent agenda as well.
agreed.
Good. And now we are supposed to be
Thank you.
doing the 4:30 meeting, so I wonder if we could take a pause.
A brief recess would be wonderful.
That's what I was going
Let's
to
do that.
suggest. So we're going to take a brief recess till 4:30, and then we'll open with the public meeting for 109 North Almond Street Lot Division. Okay? Welcome back to the Public Works and Finance meeting. We were on a brief recess. Now we're going to have the public meeting starting at 4:30 of 109 North Almond Street Lot Division with Michael Ray.
Thank you. So before you today, we have a request from Garrett Thompson for a lot division at 109 North Almond Street. And this is the old Dumas Seed property, which has been recently cleared except for a small brick building kind of in that north portion of the property. Outlined in red, you can see Almond Street running north-south here to the east. We've got A Street, east-west, and then to the west is Asbury Street. And so property is primarily surrounded by single-family, two-family, multifamily dwellings. We do also have some commercial uses, St. John Hardware and Implement Yard there to the northeast. We also have Grops, heating and air conditioning to the east, as well as some storage units to the east as well. Looking at the zoning configuration in the area, it's currently within the multiple family residential, which is our R4 zoning designation. There is an industrial designation across Almond Street to the east, which encompasses Grops as well as St. John Hardware. Residential office on the west side of Jackson, further to the east. And then we have an R3 zone to the northwest, and that's our medium-density residential R3 zoning district. So taking a look at the current R4 zone, minimum lot width is 50 feet, minimum lot area is 5,000 square feet. Setback requirements, which would apply to the existing brick powerhouse building on the properties. The front is 15, street side is 13, rear is 20, and the side is a minimum of 5, but the combination of both sides has to equal 15. So taking a closer look at the property, like I'd mentioned before, we just currently have the brick powerhouse building that's remained on the site. This is an older photo from 2012. So the property is currently 1.89 acres in size. This is the proposed division, which would result in the larger portion of the property, 1.59 acres in size, and the smaller property being divided at 13,033 square feet in size, which would encompass that brick powerhouse building. So taking a closer look at required setback requirements, as you can see to the west, south, and to the east, those more than sufficiently meet our setback requirements. Right now, the front setback is legal nonconforming just because of when the building was constructed, and so there's no change there. They'll just remain to be, legal nonconforming, and just our nonconforming section of the zoning code will apply whenever there's a change of use on that structure, or if there's an addition or expansion, that section of the zoning code would apply to that property. But no change in setbacks right now. They'll remain the same. We have noticed the property of all property owners within 600 feet have been notified, as well as has been posted 7 days in advance of the public meeting. And staff's recommendation is to take public comment if applicable and recommend approval of the division request to City Council with no conditions. And I'd certainly be able to answer any questions that you might have.
I don't have any questions. Did you have any questions?
If the building ever came down, then the new setback requirement would be in
Correct.
existence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. As soon as there's a new building, then they would have to meet all current setback requirements.
Did you have anything?
No, thank you.
Well, then we should open it to public comment.
And one note I'd like to make is that the applicant has also submitted a rezone request on this property, and that'll eventually be heard by Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council, and that's a quasi-judicial matter, and so that really doesn't pertain to what we're reviewing today. It's just right now the current zone is R4, and that's what we have to assume going forward, and there will be an opportunity for public hearing and public comment in the rezone hearings before Planning and Zoning and City Council. So.
Okay. And with that, maybe we should hear from the applicant. Is that usually a good thing to do in this case?
Yeah.
Is the applicant here?
No.
Okay, the applicant's not here. Okay, then we can have public comment. Is there anybody that would like to speak? Just come forward to the microphone and state your name. And you don't have to state your address. Just your name.
Victoria Sievert. I'm a far away. So I'm within the 600 square 600 feet, so I have notice on this, and then I have notice on the other thing too. And so most of my comments really apply to the rezone. So what I think I can salvage out of that is to say the brick building is worth saving, and that's part of what is involved with this whole lot adjustment here. And so anything that preserves something that I consider a historic icon, it's part of the history of this town and of the whole Dumas property, and that can refurbish to some good use the original materials, the brickwork that's there, I think is a good idea. So just dividing the property out, go ahead and divide the property out, let them see what they can come up with, and then we'll see if we like it or not. So that's pretty much it.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Good afternoon, just state your name.
Rusty Opes. I own a fiveplex just north of there, a couple houses, and I just want to go on record, however I can, as in favor of this development. I think it's really exciting, and
Well, in this case, it's just a lot division.
right, whatever I can say about that.
You're just glad that you see things
I was
happening.
under
How about
contract
that?
with that property, and I got scared off by all the complications. So, whatever we can do to help this guy who's not afraid, let's do it. So
All right.
thanks.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? All right. With that, we shall close the public meeting, I guess, unless there's closing comments that you'd like to make, or if you all have any other questions or anything. All right, then with that, we'll close the public meeting. All right, thank you, and then we'll just put this on to regular agenda. Because it's going to go to planning and zoning, I think, and that's where we're going to have more conversation about this. This begins to make the public aware, and that's the only reason I wanted to put it on regular agenda, because
Well, the rezone will end up going to planning and zoning and then city council, and so we'll have, quite a bit of discussions about that at that time.
Okay, so you all are encouraging this onto consent agenda.
It's just an option, whichever works out best. It will, as I think Mike's already mentioned, that the rezone will go to planning and zoning. This lot division piece, like we've had other lot divisions today, could go to consent. So
Okay.
up to the committee.
Usually if they're not contentious, it usually goes to consent agenda, but,
Okay.
It's up to the council, certainly.
All right, then, consent agenda.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
All right, with that, we have no further items on our agenda, so I'll have a motion to adjourn.
I would make a motion to adjourn.
Yep.
All right, we are adjourned.